My son Saeed, my mom, then told me I was mom number 4. My son once said, completely serious, my mom. I blinked. Which mom? Because last I checked, I was still breathing. My other mom, I said. Kai, I'm your mom. Without flinching, sounding exasperated like I'm stupid and looking me. In the eyes, he goes, I've had 3 moms before you, Mom. My son once told me, I always like it when you're my mom. I know I'm going to have a good life. Oh yeah, buddy? Have I been your mom before? I roll, of course. Don't you remember? And I did. My mind caught up to what my soul had felt all along. My daughter, at a very young age, told me that she chose me to be her mom before she was born, and that she grabbed her twin brother and told him to come with her. So every time she complains about her brother, I respond, well, you picked him. You know, you're dealing with an old soul when they have no patience for your disbelief. When my son was 2 to 3, my husband was getting him dressed after a bath, and he says, Hi, Daddy. My husband says back, Hi, buddy. My son looks at him confused, points over my husband's shoulder and says, No, other daddy. A husband tells me and his mom about this later in the day, and they realize it's the 15th anniversary of his dad's. We have an old home video somewhere that has little kid me explaining Dad was leaving town the next morning to go visit his father, and amongst the rambling gibberish mentioned his another other daddy. My son was 3 years old before he stopped talking about his other mom that. In the fire. When my child was 3, she told me at bedtime, when I used to be a different name, it was a long, long time ago, before you were even born. I was a star collector. I lived in the stars, and I was a man. But now I'm a girl. And Granddad was a star collector, too. And it was a long, long, long time ago before he was born. Did she have Benadryl that night? Kidding. I am actually obsessed with hearing stories of children saying things just like this, with elaborate details and backstories. You should probably write down any detail she ever mentions about it. My daughter has told me she chose me. She. With her first mom in a car accident, and when she was in the sky, she saw me having lunch with my friends. And I was so happy, and she thought I was pretty, so she knew that I was her next mom. Joke's on you. I wanted to cry for a stranger this morning. 2 days before my father passed, he held my belly and said, She's coming. Those were his last words to me. 5 months later, I find out I'm pregnant. That same little girl, when she turned 3 as I'm driving, she says, Mommy, remember when I used to pick you up from school when you were little and we used to walk really slow so the house can seem far? I stopped the car, put it in park, and was in complete shock. My daughter is my father. That's something my dad and I did when he picked me up from school. My mother used to be a hospice nurse. This does not surprise me. The stories she can tell about people being close to the veil, remember, magic and mystery is just science we haven't figured out yet. When my daughter was born and I saw her for the first time after an extremely difficult birth, I said, Oh my goodness, it's you. I'm so glad you're here. I missed you so much. I remember saying it, but I don't know why, and I was under anesthesia at the time, but my mom heard me and asked what I meant several times over the years. My daughter is 30 and married and still spends more time with me than anyone else. We've never had typical mother/daughter issues. I think we've been together before. Exasperated, I asked why he couldn't just try it. He said, I drowned. I said I was there the whole time and he did not come close to drowning. He said, No, before. With the mean mommy, then I got to come to you. He has no memory of this and is a fish in water now, but it still haunts me. The mean mommy, my heart. Atlas once told me that I was his favorite mom. And I said, well, that's a good thing, because I'm the only one you've got. And he replied, no, I've had a few others. My last mom was really sweet, but when my twin brother, she got sad for the rest of my life, and that just about broke me. Oh, that's heartbreaking. When my son was about 2.5, we were walking along the street, and he says, Mommy, where's my husband? He described how he was walking along with him, pushing their baby in a pram. My eldest always talked about playing soccer in big arenas full of people. remember when I did that, Mommy? Oh my God, not you're raising baby Pelé. My nephew randomly told me and his mom when he was 4 years old, I can hear what people are thinking. My daughter once recounted in detail what appears to be a past life, using language and vernacular that is antiquated and that a 5-year-old never would have been exposed to. Shook me hard. I believe you caused same with Kai. This was one instance, but he told me so many things between the ages of 2 to 5. Then nothing after. All who love these stories, check out the book Cosmic Cradle, Spiritual Dimensions of Life Before Birth. It is a collection of hundreds of stories like these, along W research into consciousness, memory, and the physical body. Exactly how much holy water did you spray him with after that exchange? When I was 4, I told my mom, Mama, remember when we got in an accident and the fireman had to cut us out, but we... Anyway, and she was like, no. When I was 4, I told my mom in very explicit detail how I last. She was a bit traumatized. Look up Ian Stevenson. He tried to scientifically prove that reincarnation exists and documented 2 500 cases where he was able to collect the child's account and confirm that the details were real. But with the scientific methods we use, nothing can be proven. But still, the cases were documented. He has already passed away, but another doctor continued his work, Jim Tucker. When my son was about 3, he would often ask me who was going to drive him to my funeral. Jesus Christ, that's dark laughing out loud. These kids! One half an old lady dining with her granddaughters approached me as she saw my girls and I sat down. She asked me if I was from India and proceeded to tell me a story of her own daughter. Apparently, when her daughter was pregnant, the unborn baby came in her dreams and told her to name her child Ananya Devi. Now, that's an uncommon name, even in India. It's more like a really old name. Now, this is a family from a small Midwest town. They had never heard such a name, and they forgot all about it. A few. 2 halves, months later the baby, a girl, was born. The newborn cried constantly. After a couple of months, they remembered the dream, renamed the baby Ananya Devi, and things were fine. Fast forward 21 years. 21-yo Ananya Devi decided to go visit Nepal. She spent some time there, loved it, came back to her home in the Midwest, packed her bags, and moved to Nepal permanently. The story still gives me the goosebumps. My nephew was about 3 years old when he told my sister and me that he was Paw Paw, our dad. 15 years before he was born and was known as Paw Paw. We were shook. My whole head just rotated 360 degrees as I read this. Then, in a more logical thought, I've always wondered how much of our ancestors' memories are stored in our DNA. Example, fish returning to their place of birth to spawn? There are other nearby rivers suitable for spawning. Or, I'm an ancestry buff. I have a favorite 5th great-grandfather. Huh? I feel like I know him. Also, tried to find my grandmother's unmarked grave in an old cemetery. I just knew where she was. Interesting to think about. My experience raising him, though, makes me firmly believe in past lives, or he just said too many things, and not even just my family-related stuff. For example, he was obsessed with the Eiffel Tower. Don't know how he would even know the name to it, and he'd tell me as a toddler he used to live right near there. Once he recounted in detail clothes and things of a different time that there's just no rational explanation for. And tons of such instances. Her grandmother's eyes shine with a toddler's innocence, chameleon eyes gray, green, brown. We settle on hazel. Oh my God, that's wild. I believe it. My son claimed he knew my mom long before me and that he used to be her sister, and that he tried being her son but couldn't, so he became mine. My mom lost a sister and she also lost a belly. He had no clue about either, and I had no clue about my mom having a miscarriage prior to me. I had a friend whose son was maybe 3 at the time and said something about his old family that when a plane crashed into their house and it caught fire. Of course, my friend was like, "What?" And his son was like, "It was years ago. It's okay now." I would have been looking for old news stories. Y'all kids be saying cute things. My son said the devil sent him. My 7-year-old told me once when she was about 4. Remember when we were angels together and danced and had fun in the clouds? She's a big dancer now and re-taught me to dance carefree. Little kids hear us talk about things that happened in the past, before their time, and they don't comprehend that we're talking about real events. It just seems like made-up stories to them, so they make up some of their own stories that could seem real. Once they're old enough to understand what's going on, they stop making up stories. When my daughter was 3, she would talk about someone named Jake. We didn't know a Jake. What do you think he meant? Was this a past life memory, something he had overheard, or simply a child's imagination? If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and subscribe to Thread Stories for more.